change back to once a week yet?
Next week, once a week.
Okay.
Hey, I'm going to give you a bunch of them. You can give them away.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you? So quiet in here. You good? Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Good, I brought your present.
Oh, I'm good.
You good with these?
Thank you. Well, I'm done.
Care for everything? Hey. Anybody want a pen?
No, mine, I typed them from my phone.
Sorry, it's bad.
No, that's amazing.
I'll let Clara add in the car.
Because you know how many times I've not been able to find my shit. Like, or it's in a folder and book that I can write on.
So your next show is
That's gonna be.
Yeah, how you doing?
I expect more of those.
We got this like a year ago. You don't remember? I got one of those.
No, I had, I brought them in here a couple, 3 weeks ago too.
They have professional writers.
Oh, really?
2000.
Somebody talked about John. I think I want to talk
Well,
about
yeah,
I'll hold on.
I'll be fine there.
Hey, yeah, I'm cool.
That's why I put a little pressure on them. Like, I kind of rather do my own stuff.
We did some No, Patty. No, Patty.
Good morning. How are you?
How's the baby?
We're friends. Yeah, so good. So good.
What?
Well, let me just talk about it. We can talk about that.
No summer vacation.
You know, friends of ours did a 2-year hiatus over in Australia. They did year-round school over there, and they said it was awesome.
Yeah, I.
Frida, that's the best part.
Good.
There's a couple weeks off, and then you go back.
I hate it. I do. I hate it. I'm printing. I'm printing.
I was good for school, but then never something
Hey, doing good. How was Boston? And how was Austin? You had a good time?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Sad some of the some of the speakers, that was pretty good. Very interesting. I prefer a little bit. That's the guy with the wasn't the praise. No. I like the I think the good John because I had different medals in it because it was very strict. But the guy that has that little card, the business card that says, oh my goodness, I'm ready. It was very good. No, it was 20. It's something that he says in the car. And he was there, he was over and it was very interesting. Yeah, I know. Well, exactly. back in front of everybody else. You know, everything's in danger out there. Yeah, I mean, that's the best part of those.
We spent like $3,000.
Take salad. That's always the
Thank you.
Andrew, you want something?
Yeah, I'll have some.
What you did is
I haven't had it yet.
Enjoying yourself?
LOL. No, wow. And we're he is like mad. If someone told me I couldn't go in and out, I
got you, man.
It's not all be. You want to be really inspired.
Good morning. I caught most of you with your mouth full. I can tell. I look out and everybody's it's all good. Felix always brings the good stuff, doesn't he? He always brings the good stuff. And speaking of Felix, we will let him come on up and speak to us. Felix got to go to Mega Camp as well. I saw him up there. He had a great time. But can we thank Felix for our Felix also sponsored our lunch when we went on the mountain line tour, and that was pretty.
That was fun.
That was really fun.
That was good.
Felix, tell us
Awesome.
about 210.
Awesome. I hope you enjoy the food. If you like it, I made it. If you do not like it, somebody else did, I guess. But the potato salad is really good, actually. So let's talk about teacher home quarantine. First thing about the product itself It's very important when you choose a home warranty to look what's very important. In the case of home warranties, 40% of our claims, 40% of our claims are HVAC related. So almost half of the claims are going to be somewhat HVAC related. That happens to be the most expensive item to repair or to replace. So keep that in mind. You probably want the strongest service provider when it comes to that. I'm very comfortable saying that we have the most comprehensive HVAC service in the industry. We have no caps, and that's extremely important. A pound of refrigerant, which is going to be used most of the time when they're fixing your air conditioning, could be as high as $200. Everybody knows that. In the city of Atlanta, you have 5 pounds, that's $1,000 if you need 5 pounds of refrigerant. With us, you pay by you, I said your homeowner, your client pays 0. Please keep that in mind. With other companies, you may have to pay as much as $960. They may just cap the pound of refrigerant $10. So even with a home warranty, your client will have to come out of pocket considerably large amount. We have 0 cap and it's unlimited. If we need refrigerant 3-4 times during the year, we will go ahead and fill the refrigerant. So I just want to talk about that when it comes to the product, because that's the most important part of it. Very comprehensive. Everything is included in our Supreme, and we guarantee our service for the entirety of the service agreement. That's also a big difference with others. In other words, you have a problem the first month. 6 months later, you have the same problem. It's not unusual. We cover that. You don't have to pay that service fee or that part because we already had that issue in the past, and you're still within the service agreement. Last but not least, we are just implemented this the 1st of August, and agents, listen to this. This is very important because it's going to free a lot of time from you. You should not spend time talking about home warranties with your clients. That's what we're here for. But we started the 1st of August, now call every single client within 30 days of the closing date to introduce ourselves. That's our team in Denver. We introduce ourselves, we give them a contact number, we tell them what kind of coverage they have and how to proceed in case of a claim. That saves a lot of phone calls that normally would go to you, and then you will probably call me or call the 800 number. So that is huge. You will not believe how many clients do not even know they have a home warranty. It's not uncommon that I get a call from someone that says, oh my God, I just realized that I have a home warranty, but I went ahead and fixed it, can you refund it? So those things are huge, okay? And the most important thing about us is what happens when things go wrong. We're not perfect, okay? And every now and then, if you have a claim that is not handled adequately or your client is not happy, what happens there? First of all, I never hear from you when everything is perfect and fine. I should hear from you. Thank you, no problem. But if we have an issue, that's when it's so important to have this relationship. I do not sell home warranties. If you feel that I'm selling a home warranty, I'm failing. I sell a relationship and a partnership. I'm with you, whether you're an individual, a team, or a group. I'm here to assist you. You should be lead generating, prospecting. Yes, bringing more clients, filling your books, with clients, not dealing with home warranties. And please make sure when you work with me, you can give your clients my contact. It's in the front of our brochures. I'm local. I respond to my emails, texts, and phone calls. And it's very important that that you can refer them to me. I handle all the warranty issues, and I'll keep you posted. You do not need to be involved in this. So, most important, thank you so much for a lot of you that are doing business with us. This market center and another one within the Rose Group are like right there, head to head. I'm not going to create any kind of competition, but please keep sending them our way. So at the end of the year, maybe we're very close to be like #1 this market center. So thank you so much for those of you that are doing business with me. For those of you that do not, I would love to have the opportunity to do business with you, and I would not let you down. Thank you so much. You have the best but apprentice. So, the team leader. So, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the meeting.
Okay, say the question again.
The question from Rachel is if somebody has an issue with HVAC, which by the way, everybody has an issue with the HVAC during the summer months. So how soon can we get at them? As soon as you get to me. Great question. The only thing that I cannot do for you or your clients is file the claim for legal reasons, if anything else. They have to call in and file the claim so they know what, they cannot tell me what the problem is and then I translate that.
Sure.
Especially with my accent, they'll never get it. But seriously, so as soon as you have filed a claim, and if something is not right, you can call me, and I have the ability to go straight to the office of the president in Denver, that's our headquarters, that's another thing I didn't mention. We assign a customer advocate that will be contacting your client within 2 hours to address that issue. And they have access to all the communications with the service providers, with the client itself. So time is of the essence. Sometimes I hear a client that I haven't had air conditioning in 3 weeks. Wow, why? Because that's a long wait, The sooner you get me involved, the better. That's what I'm here for. So as soon as your client has an issue, give them my phone number, give them my email. I do take care of them. Remember, I'm representing you. I'm your partner. So I want to make sure I make you look good. And even when the news are not good, we make sure they understand the process and the reasons. So that's the biggest asset I have for you guys. And I'm not being selfish or anything like that. Any of us in my company will do the same thing. The sooner, the better. And we keep you posted if you want. I have agents that have told me, I just handle it, Felix, I trust you. Don't keep me in the loop with all these messages. But we can do that. And other things, because there's some other home warranties around, one home warranty is better than none. So even if you do not do business with 210, I would appreciate you doing business with any of our other colleagues or my other partners, because I strongly believe in home warranties. And please, you are not servicing your clients if you do not at least have the conversation of a home warranty. So I would prefer you do 210, but if you do not, do any other one of our colleagues. But you're better off with a home warranty than with none. Any other questions? And I'll be around. I'm so sorry I didn't mean to take half of your day. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Manning.
That's my cue.
Yeah.
I'm Charlie Pollard. I'm a closing attorney. My phone number, my email, that goes directly to my desk, so feel free to give me a call anytime. I've had this come up 2 or 3 times in the last couple of weeks. I don't think it's a trend, but just so you've heard about it, you know how it works if something ever comes up with the client. Owner financing, seller financing. So the most common situation that you'll see this is if you have a buyer that can't qualify the traditional way. So obviously plan A would be, calling CBC or a lender and getting them a conventional loan. So sometimes the deal works out that the seller and the buyer want this transaction to happen, but the buyer has to get creative on financing. Another situation when this comes up is where you have an investor that also makes a nice offer to the seller that isn't interested, doesn't want to put all the cash down, but wants to, again, get creative with the deal. So there's a lot of moving parts, and we work on these all the time. I've always got one on my desk, so just know that if you hear the word seller financing or owner financing and you call somebody to talk about it, feel free to call me, and I'll be able to walk you through it. But in general, what it means is, the seller owns the property, obviously, the buyer wants to buy it. At the end of the day, at the end of the transaction, the buyer owns the property. The title is transferred just like any other closing, but the seller retains a mortgage against the property. So what that means is there's a note that our office or any closing attorney's office could draw up with the same general terms you would have with any other loan, interest rate, payments, and they can structure that any way they like. There's a note and there's a security deed, which is a mortgage. And that's all that really has to happen for that seller to retain a mortgage against the property. So sometimes what that means is the buyer can bring a down payment, but then there's a note that's held back. So the seller's going to get the full sales price when that note gets paid off, but they also can generate some interest and some revenue on that. Obviously there's some risks, because if that, just like any other loan, if the buyer stops making payments, then the seller, who's not the lender, can foreclose and go through the process and take the property back. You got to pay attorneys to go through that process too. So just know that's the general idea about it. I've had a few phone calls about it, and I've worked on a couple of deals in the last couple of weeks. If it comes up, feel free to give me a call, and I'll walk you through it.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Jim Heitzer, Joe Travato, Will's Acres is out at a couple of closings this morning. Thanks again for a great last month and the beginning of this month. The news this week is basically that every home builder has come out with earnings for the year so far. They have exceeded, and they have a backlog of almost a year and a half for all of the major home builders right now. Okay, so that being said, you have low unemployment, you have low interest rates, and you have a backlog of inventory out there, so the market is still looking good for the next year and a half. Okay. Yeah, the only hard part to fill is the first-time home buyer segment. So, so if you can fill that, then you have a real niche in the marketplace. So everything looks good for the next year and a half.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
If you're willing to serve on the panel and you went to make a count, you'll come on up, and if we don't have enough chairs, we'll pull some more chairs up. I want you all to hear the amazing things that went on at Mega Camp. Probably one of the most, the Mega Camp is the most new thing. Does that make sense? It's the most new thing. And most of them are so exciting around technology. So we're going to have some more info on that from Karen in a little bit. So, first day, Mega Camp is mainly agent driven. And the first part of that first day is Gary Keller driven. And he's doing what he usually calls the state of the industry during that time. And the slides I don't have yet. You have them? I have the info. He said that in 2016, it was 5.5 billion homes sold. Okay? In the United States. In 2017, same thing. Exactly the same number. So far this year, we're trending 5.4. So last year was same. This year is down a little bit. Is that scary? Please say no.
Did you say million or billion?
Million. Oh, million. Sorry, million. If I did say billion, I did not mean to. I'm thinking big.
Home for everybody.
Million.
Translates to billions.
It translates to millions of dollars. No, millions, I apologize. So we're trending for 5.4. Is that a bad thing? No. It's still a good market, just as Jim said. It's still a good market. But here's what was interesting about that to me. How many of you have, and I want you to raise your hand and give people time to look around the room if you raise your hand. How many have buyers that if you can find a house for them, they would buy in the next 24 hours? Isn't that interesting? Gary said, and I believe him wholeheartedly, that if we have a shift coming, it's going to be a supply-driven shift versus a demand-driven shift. Usually it's been demand. We don't have buyers out there wanting to buy. But you just proved in Atlanta, Georgia, that there are buyers who want to buy that can't find the house because it's some sellers living in it that don't know they're a seller yet. And they haven't put their house on the market. How many have sellers that you know would like to sell, but they're concerned that they can't find something in the price range that they get? See what I'm talking about? Just about as many hands as were for buyers, there were for sellers. So what Gary said we need to be aware of, not concerned about, but be aware of, that this may be coming into a time when we don't sell as many houses because people are afraid to put them on the market. So it'll be more of a supply-driven shift than a demand-driven shift. That's going to be new. This last shift was the third one I've been through, and they were all demand-driven. People just stopped buying. And that's not going to be the case this time. It's going to be listing driven, which I hope and pray is all of you, that are listings driven, your work is to find a seller who is willing to put a sign anywhere. Now, the best ones to find are the ones that are doing what? Say it again?
Downsizing.
Could be downsizing. What else? Relocating, where they have to move. So you gotta be, how do you find those? Do you usually find those on for sale by owner? Usually not. And you usually don't find those on expired listings either. Because they've got to go rapidly, so they usually do it well. So, where you find those is usually where? In your database. They're usually in your database. So going back to it's a database-driven market.
HR division companies also.
HR division companies are also, I know Madeline, you had a great relationship with an HR company that HR's department that brought in lots of business for you. So just be thinking about that in terms of what Gary sees the market doing. Do any of you all have anything you want to add from that very first session with Gary? Okay, perfect. Then we went into a session, 3 people on the panel that worked their database. One of them through events, another through marketing. Did you all have anything on that panel? Let's just turn them loose and let them tell us what they do have.
I think we have it broken out by our ahas.
Okay, then you can do it by your ahas.
I mean, I think that was.
Tell us your name.
Sorry, I'm Dan McGrath.
And then
I'm
this
on
was
the
your
Kelly team.
first mega
My
camp.
first mega camp. I think that was one of my biggest ahas because it came back to it's all about the database, which we all know, but it kind of we lose in that whole cycle. So there's people that just kept hammering home the point. Gary said at one point is being successful is boring because you're just doing the same thing every day.
So, did you all hear what he said?
At the point you just kept hammering away and hammering away and hammering away.
Being successful is boring.
It's boring. So, and the one guy talked about his database being 250 people. That's all he or anybody on his team needed in their database, 250 people, and they just work that over and over and over and over. And then they keep obviously trying to gain, but if they have that, they know they'll be successful for the long run. So just, to me, that was kind of the ahas, is just really dig back down into it and keep that base strong.
So Dan, let me ask you a question. Knowing that, what's your action item?
I gotta go clean up my database. I mean, there's too many fluff people in there. I mean, I had to go in and dig and see how many I really had. I can get referrals from. I can turn into, buyers or sellers. I mean, just really dig back in there. It's not enough.
If I'm not mistaken, there was one person, you all correct me if I'm wrong, who said when he really started looking at his 35,000 person database, he really only had 250 people that he really knew and could consistently take care of.
Right.
And so my challenge to you, as Dan said, is go back and dig in that database. It takes a little bit longer to build it that way. If you're just building, it takes a little bit longer to build it that way. But if you want to see the rewards of building it that way, look at Madeline Fuchs. Picking on her right now, but in a great way, because, and Debbie Leonard back there is another one. You built your business on database and working with individuals one at a time. And you built big businesses, and now it's a lot of fun to get those come list me calls, right, from your database. Right? Who's next?
Okay, so, I'm just gonna show you guys one thing, and this is gonna key in everything we learned at Mega Camp. When you go to these functions, when you take classes, you're doing what? You're learning your skills, right? You go to these places, you wanna learn new skills, right? The other thing you need to work on is your nutrition. This is mental and physical, right? As far as what am I allowing to come into my body, in my mouth? What do I drink, sleep? What do I listen to? That's something you have control over, right? And the last thing is your mindset. A lot of people go to Mega Camp to change their mindset. Everything we learned about was that you're building your skill sets but you have to put them into action and be consistent. It was said by Gary Keller. It was said by John Maxwell. John Maxwell said, I'm not any different than any of you. I just read, I write, I do the same 5 things every single day, and I'm consistent about it. What happens to us is we're distracted. Shiny object, squirrel, easy button, right? When you know what you have to do. Do you have the skills? Everyone raise your hand if you have the skills to be the top real estate agent you want to be. Raise your hand if you have the skills. If you don't have the skills, there's your gap. Are you controlling your nutrition? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating right? Are you reading the right books? Are you listening to the right people? Yes or no? That's your gap. Mindset. Do you actually believe you can do it? So once you have all these things in place, it's a question of you deciding you can do it. If you're not doing the very basic things, that's on you. We're literally up here just talking about the same stuff. We just remarket it every single day, right? What's your number one thing you have to do every single day, 5+ days a week? What is it?
Lead gen.
Lead gen. Why is it that Magical Mornings is like only 7 to 10 people?
Karen, are
right?
you talking about your ahas?
Yeah. Here's my aha.
Are your passion?
Yeah, my passion and my ahas. But honestly, what happens is we realize that we go to these functions, we learn all these things, we come back and we say, are we going to move them into action, right? I have a million things on aha, but it goes back to basics every single time. I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to hope that the people that I impact are consistent. I'm going to help grow leaders, that they're consistent. And that's all the bottom line, because I for sure know we have the best skill set in the house. I know we have amazing people who are constantly doing the right things, and I know you have the right mindsets. But are you actually doing it? So we don't go there to find out. We don't walk through the booths and we buy all these special, wonderful things that make it go easy. Did you have it easy? Did you have it easy, Debbie? John, did you have it easy? There's no easy button to get to success. It's just the other side of boredom, as Dan said.
I thought that was huge. Success is boring. Monotonous boredom. Because you keep doing the same thing over and over again. And we have that short attention span, and we want to go do something else new. And staying on the task is not easy. I always have this concern that we go to a class or a new event and we come back with our materials and we put them up on the shelf. We have the smartest shelf in the whole wide world. Yeah, we're teachers. That's what we do. When we put them up on the shelf and we never do anything with them. That's why I just am so passionate about teaching personally the first day of Ignite, because I always tell those people who are just launching their career or relaunching, just do something. It may be wrong, you may screw it up, and that's okay. Nobody dies from real estate. We will fix it. Just do something. Just do something.
So I have something to add on to that. So Karen, thank you. So for skills and for mindset, there was a conversation about lead gen, and we're all like, lead gen, but it's something that we have to do. And they said, try to make your lead gen like you do your exercise. Do it with somebody. Then you're accountable and you'll do it every day. And this one gal said that she did a Google Hangout with, I think she was an ISA.
She was.
And she did a Google Hangout with other ISAs, and they would chat about, you know, what was going on and encourage each other, even though they were around the country. And then the other thing they said is, you know, at the end of the day, the ISAs, or you're doing your lead gen after your 2 or 3 hours, and you go, oh, I only made 1 appointment. Well,
This is powerful. I know where she's going.
This was really a big aha to me. So as we go along in our business, we're focused on that one thing, and it's like football. We're only focused on the touchdown. We cheer for the touchdown. But in the game of football, you're moving the ball down the field at 10 yards at a time. And they cheer every time you make a first down. If you think about that and you move the lead down the field, you should cheer for yourself because you just made a first down and you're getting closer to your touchdown. So to me, that was a big aha. It's like, oh, it's not, just 1 appointment. It's like, I got a hold of them finally. And we agreed to talk the next day, and then that's another, you know, you keep moving it down the field. So when you're doing lead gen, think about it that way.
Spoken like a true.
Thank you.
Like a true bulldog.
Spoken like a true
I'm a
bulldog.
ball girl.
I like that.
But I hadn't thought about that. I had not. If I move the ball down the field, does the stands cheer?
Yes.
You bet they do.
Yeah.
And yet we sometimes count that as, I didn't get anything today. And realizing the mindset of, oh yes we did. We moved that ball down the field. Everybody doesn't run across the end zone every time they have the ball.
Right.
So every phone call, every door knock is an attempt.
It's a move. It's
Every
not an
contact.
attempt.
It's a
It's
play.
move.
It's a something.
It's that's what I'm saying. You attempt it.
Yeah.
If there's a contact, and in my mind, that's you got a first down.
Yes,
And
because
then an appointment, right?
yes. Yes.
I'm not sure how you can relate that to other sports, but I mean,
Well, just think of football. This
I
is
know,
the
just
point
think
of it.
football. It's coming
I
up.
don't think we ever do a very good job of celebrating the
Little
little.
thing. No,
Yes,
no, no.
agreed.
Little thing.
I mean, like, we even have a joke somewhat in my household, like, I could have a big closing and my husband will be like, aren't we gonna celebrate? And I'm like, nope, next. Like, I mean, we just, you know, and I think we just kind of get in that mode and we don't give ourselves credit for the little things. And remember, not everyone on your team is necessarily gonna carry it across the line.
The word, you've heard it, do. Do. From each person, do. Get into action. Do something. Do it. Okay? That's awesome, Patty.
A lot of my ahas came from just the big guys on the teams talking about their team. And I'm going to use Ben Kenny because he's one of my favorites. He's a great speaker. He said we have to remind ourselves that we are a real estate agent who has a business of selling real estate. We constantly have to think about being in business. And he's talked about, which I know we can all relate to this, that he capped out at doing 25 transactions when he was by himself. And then he added his right-hand lady, Jolene, and he did 80 transactions. And then they added their first buyer's agent and did 150. And then they added another buyer's agent and did 10 more. And in doing that, he realized just the power of the people, and that he had made a bad hire, probably because he was so busy. Who you surround yourself with affects how you do business. And he said to look for people with 5 things: with integrity, a team player, tiger in their eye, coachable, and a servant heart. And I think that was the first time I've actually heard those 5 terms together.
Give me those 5
Realized-
again, Rachel.
Integrity, team player, tiger in their eye, coachable, and a servant's heart. And if you think about it, those really are the qualities of a person that will be a good person to be in business with, as a part of your team. And we give so much to one another when we work together. Success leaves clues, so do failures. You get to choose which one you follow. We control how we think, what we think is possible, how you use your time. You have the right to say no. Who you are in business with, and what that matters. Take care in choosing who you're in business with, and how we use our money.
I'm going to quote Ben too.
Well, she's about to visualize it.
This is the visual that she's talking about that he has. You control 4 things: how you think, how you spend your time, who you spend it with, and how you spend your money. It's not how you make your money, it's how you spend your money.
And you can think like that at Ben's level. Ben said also, a lot of agents are too busy being an agent to run a business. Let that one sit there a minute. He says too many agents are too busy being an agent to run a business. Think about that. Where is the evidence of that? Where does that show up?
Controlling the transaction and being too
willing to involve in it from beginning to end? What do we sometimes forget to measure? Starts with a P. Profitability. We think we'll just throw some money at it. And later on, someone said, when you stop personal lead generation and exchange it for purchasing lead generation, you lose the right to control how much it costs.
Well, you also pay other companies.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
You lose the right to control because they become in control
Because you
of how
don't.
much that lead
you
generation
don't wanna run a business.
just cost you. Is everybody understanding that? Yeah. When you're buying technology to give you leads, you cannot control how much that goes up next month to get the same darn thing.
Well, even other real estate companies, you're paying them to run your business.
Correct.
So it affects your bottom line.
It always, and so I heard another person say that one of their most recent things they did was add a line to their P&L that said profit. Now that sounds stupid. I mean, think that really sounds stupid. But he realized he didn't have a profit line on his P&L. So he put it on there as an expense of how much profit he intended to take out of that business.
Well, plus, we all fudge our numbers too.
Yeah, we think.
So you think you make a lot
Well,
because you run a lot through your business.
we think that the IRS guidelines are our profit and loss
Correct.
statement, and oh, by the way, it is not. And I'm not saying you keep two sets of books, but I'm telling you, a tax deduction does not equal something you actually spent on your business. And if you think so, I'm
Well, that you
sorry,
should.
but you're a big dummy. Your P&L is what you actually spend on your business. Your tax deductions, because you drove across town and got however many cents it is a mile, is not what you actually spent. Now quit doing that.
And aid stage.
Do your P&Ls for your business. Let your accountant worry about your taxes. And don't, when I ask you how much you make, don't tell me how much you pay taxes on, because I know what that means. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. What else did you get from Meg account?
You wanna talk about technology?
Okay, Erin's gonna hit the three main things that Kelly needs to do. What else are you all gonna hit?
Well, can we intro it? Can we talk about it?
Absolutely.
So,
I just,
there was
I've
so
just,
much-
I just got her
Oh, well, you wanna
prepped
keep
for
going
that.
first? Hold on, Patty's
Go,
got more
Patty.
snippets first.
Well, when talking about your database, one of the things they talked about was having client events. And that was pretty interesting because there were all kinds of ideas about that. But the big takeaway was it isn't just the client event and that 250 people came or 50 people came. They said it's the events around your, it's what you do around that. So they have one guy said we have an all-day call day, and everybody calls. Whether that person comes or not,
It's not
you
the win.
touch them. And then they do a call afterwards too. So it's the things that are around that actually count in addition to the event and who showed up and, you know, how big and successful it appeared.
As a matter of fact, he said, I don't care if they don't come. Actually, it's cheaper for me if they don't show up. But I've still touched them. Yeah, this was really funny.
It might have been the same guy or not, I can't remember, but there was a couple people who talked about this is, we all say, oh, we're gonna do our 33 touch and then we send out the mass emails. But have we really touched anybody? So they stopped doing it. They're like, we don't even do the mass emails anymore. We only touch people through our events or through whatever we do because we want real touches. Now, again, we're fooling ourselves on our database because we say we're touching, doing the 33 touch and we're really not. We're just sending out blast emails and hoping they get to somebody's inbox and then hoping that they look at them and then hoping that they read them. But for the most part, that's not really what's effective.
Hey, Robin, 20%
Uh-huh.
of people read their emails to that point.
Only 20% of your emails are getting read.
Right.
Yeah, yikes.
That's huge.
Unless you're a realtor, then you read it.
And then you read on. How many is thank you notes do you have over there? I saw a big, large stack.
I don't know, I write them all the time and they drive me crazy. I've got this many right now.
That, and that's about every other day. You think she's gonna build the database the right way?
Yep.
Brady, you're doing it the right way.
Thank you.
You're doing it right.
It is not fun, but I
It's
force
boring.
myself.
It's boring. Success is boring, and you're gonna be successful.
Thank you.
Open houses. Did anybody get any calls from open houses?
I liked how there was one woman who really talked about her farm system and how she did her open houses, and her thing was, again, making an event around the open house. I mean, she was door knocking, what did she say, 500 people?
500.
Rotating them every 2 weeks. So she was hitting up almost every 2 weeks. She was hitting somebody up something like that.
No, you're right. I've got it written down right here.
But she would also do like events around it. Yeah, her farm, one area. But so she had, she did one day where she did like a different dish in each house. She had 5 different houses she had open, and she did it in the evening. So just trying to put a fresh new flair on it, but just door knocking and get in front of everybody again. Just more touches on that database.
One of them also said that they put out 40 signs.
40 signs.
40 directionals. And they start at the grocery store on Saturday morning because everybody around that little neighborhood goes to the grocery store, and they just have them all the way. I don't know what DeKalb would do about that, but it's that 40 signs, and they said the best thing they did was to hire a runner or somebody to find someone to do that. But they put them out Saturday morning, and they direct them right to their open houses.
Okay, speaking of open houses, who can remember about the secret list?
It's a secret list of buyers. Yeah.
Secret list of buyers and secret list of sellers.
Yeah.
Who wants to talk about that? Because that, I think, is beautiful.
You talk about it.
Okay, I'll talk about it. In the open houses, and she always put her houses on the market on Thursday, no showings until Saturday morning at 11. And she did Saturday morning at 11 open houses. She knocked the neighborhood, the 500 doors, to get neighbors to come to the open house. And she had a separate hour for neighbors only. And so she asked people when they came in if they were a neighbor in that special hour. She gave them a different color flyer. It had a different little color on it, so she could recognize them and not have to talk to them as much about buying so much, But in that, she said, because when people come from a neighborhood to look at an open house, what are they doing really?
Being nosy.
Some of them are being nosy, comparing, seeing how you do an open house. They may be shopping for realtors, but they may be seeing if they're ready to be a seller coming soon, right? So she found out through that open house, are you thinking of selling, or you just, and so she kept this list of what she called secret sellers and secret buyers. And so when the buyers came into the open house, if that one didn't work, she said, if I found one that did work, would you want to know about it? Yes. Well, they got to be on the secret buyers list. So when she went to sellers, she talked about her secret buyer list. When she was talking to buyers, she talked about her secret seller list. And it was people that she met at open houses that weren't quite ready yet, but they were willing to be on the list. And if I found the house that matched what you're looking for, Mr. Secret Buyer, what would be the best number to call you? The best place to reach you?
And then they would fill out.
And then they would fill out things. Does that make sense? So secret buyer, secret seller, and that came from open house. Open house. Okay? Anything else on open houses? Let's talk to our for sale by owner and expired peeps. I have one good tip for you on that. Does anybody have anything?
The 3 words they said is when you're talking with the for sale by owner, for sale by owner, doubt, curiosity, and urgency. And so as you're talking to them, you want to create some kind of doubt. Am I doing the right thing? And then curiosity of like, well, what else could be going on? and then the urgency of, you know, when do you really want to sell, and what are your plans? So those were 3 keywords.
They said if they tell you to call them back in 2 weeks, always cut whatever they tell you in half. If they say 2 weeks, call them back in a week. The other thing, and this is a script, and you should get your pencils down, because this was a great one. They said for sale by owners. When do you think? No, let me back up, get it right. If your house doesn't sell, you're going to have to do one of 2 things. You're either going to have to change the price, or you're going to have to change your marketing plan. Which one do you think you want to do? Did y'all get that? You're either going to have to change your price, or you're going to have to change your marketing plan. Which one of those do you think you want to do? Because if they change their marketing plan, what is it for sale by owner's marketing plan? Sign in the yard, maybe Zillow make you move, whatever. But to truly change their marketing plan, only you can do that. So are they going to change their price, or are they going to change their marketing plan? And another tip that they had for sale by owners and expired listings was that it is more about handling your objection scripts and knowing those versus you're getting an appointment scare, because they have objections. So learn your objection scripts. Let's see. Does anybody want to talk about how we made phone calls right in the middle of mega camp? We didn't make phone calls. We made texts. Yes, Dan, grab that one.
There was one guy, I think it was like $2 in acquisition costs, where he spent no money on acquisition costs for his clients because all he did was set up coffee appointments. So he says they did a test on some place he was where everybody sent out. I think they made something like 1,100 appointments. I mean, something crazy number. So he had everybody there just text and ask people if they want to have coffee. I don't know how many, if they came back and said how many they got, but they were trying to get over, I don't know, some huge number.
Yeah.
And he says that's how his team just all coffee appointments. Hey, let's grab a coffee, let's grab a coffee.
And he called it a propertunity text. Propertunity text. And his text was, I found this really great investment property. Would you like to know about it? Let's have coffee. Pretty cool. Yeah.
He said that in addition to everything he does every day, at the end of the day, he texts at least 7 people.
7 people.
And he made us all stop, and you have to text 7 people. And coming soon, you can text through this thing that she's going to talk about.
Let's talk about that.
We're going there. We're going there. How many of you have ever heard of Videolicious? Videolicious. One guy used Videolicious to highlight businesses in the area. He then took those and put them on Kelly, which is where Aaron's going to go in a few minutes to make himself be the local expert in the neighborhood. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Anything else y'all have specifically that you want to say to him?
There was one more guy that I thought was really impressive. He was in Detroit. He did some absurdly high number of sales. All he did was hire listing agents and ISAs, and he didn't even worry about buyer's agents. And he said, we'll just figure out how to find people houses. But all we do is we get on the phone, we call, and we list houses. That's all he trained his team to do.
Martin Bowman?
What's that?
Is it Martin Bowman?
I don't remember his name.
That same guy charges an $800 transaction fee as well.
Yeah, and there were some other people who had some kind of ideas that were outside the size, but again, that was just another thing going back to what we were all taught in the beginning is your database and listings are the most important things. And he was just like, we just grind away at the listings, and we've gotten so big that we just have to keep on bringing more and more listing agents. So I thought that was pretty impressive.
It's awesome. Anything else you guys want to tell them?
Want to talk about John Maxwell?
Well, yes, tell them a John Maxwell thing or two. How many of you have ever heard of John Maxwell or read any of his books? We got to hear John Maxwell speak, which was pretty awesome.
He was great.
Success is all about me. significance is all about others. We are created to add value to others. Look beyond yourself. I want to make a difference. Start writing out your story. What do you want to make a difference about?
Be intentional in your attitude. The only time the attitude matters is in adversity and difficulty. That's very powerful. Be intentional in your attitude. Did you have that?
This is my favorite one, yes. This is my favorite one. If you want life to be easy, die.
He was talking about.
He was funny. It was really funny. He said, if somebody comes to you, when somebody comes to me and they say, I want to quit, he goes, quit. You're done. You've already quit. So like, what should I do? Yeah. Should I quit? Yeah, I'm thinking about quitting. Quit. You're done. You've already stopped.
Don't be the smartest person in the room. Be around people who can teach you things. Who you surround yourself with matters.
He also said most people, his whole talk was on intentional living purposefully, and he said most people don't lead their life, they accept their life. Most people don't lead their life, they accept their life. And he said everything worthwhile is uphill.
No one accidentally goes uphill.
No one accidentally goes uphill.
Do you have uphill hopes and downhill habits?
Yeah. Uphill goals and downhill habits. He said, do an autopsy on your success.
Yep.
And see what caused it. And if you don't have success, do an autopsy on your lack of it and see what caused it. And I guarantee it will have 2 letters in it. You didn't D-O. You didn't do anything. You talked a lot about it, but you didn't get into action. And the 5 things he said he did, Karen, were read every day, think every day, file every day. In other words, something he reads is important to him, he holds on to it and files it. Ask questions every day, and he wrote every day.
30 books later.
Yeah. Said people asked him why he didn't retire. He said he was old enough to retire, and he said he was financially able to retire. He said, I've written 30 books, do the math. But he said, I'm not finished developing people. And the last thing he said that got me was consistency compounds. Yes. Like compounding interest, consistency compounds. So if you set your priorities and you do them consistently, it will compound into significance that becomes all about others. And Ben Kinney said, to piggyback on that, to be as young as he is and as wise as he is, there's a difference between being smart and being wise. And Ben Kinney sees the world at a much higher plane and a much different place than most of us ever see. And he said these words and it just went. To have a small business is selfish.
It was controversial.
To have a small business is selfish. Because when you've got enough for you and you stop right there, you're going to live a pretty selfish life. But if you make a big business and you have abundance and you live in abundance and you do for others out of that, that's why you run a big business. That one got me. That one got me. Karen, you're blessed.
Oh, thank you. If you're interested in seeing John Maxwell live, he's in Atlanta on October 12th. Tickets are still available. It's called Live to Lead. Live the number 2 lead. There's a morning session, and then there's a full day session, and then there's a VIP session to have breakfast with him. I know Robben has done it. I'm going, and I know there's several of us from the office, but it would be a fun event to go to. Live to Lead.
What was the date here?
October 12th. It's at the Infinite Center, whatever you call it.
Karen, I think he just named one of his guest speakers as Tyler Perry.
I was gonna say that, Tyler Perry's gonna be there.
That's a bummer, yeah.
Is that a day meeting?
It is.
It's all day.
And I would highly recommend it. He will have different speakers all day, but Tyler's gonna be the last one, so that'll be awesome. Okay, Miss Erin, we ready to turn you loose on the technology?
Sure.
And the panel. So let Erin show her things she wants to show, and then we'll let the panel talk about what they got. Has everybody downloaded Kelly?
Yeah.
I know if you haven't, you're too ashamed to raise your hand.
I have the wrong email on mine.
Say that again?
I have the wrong email.
You have one?
The wrong email.
Oh.
It's your KW email.
It's your KW email. I tell you, here, while she's pulling that up, everybody go to your white pages and your profile and update them to be everything you want them to be, exactly like you want them to be, and upload your photos.
Whatever's wrong in the system is based on what she's saying. You have to go into kw.com, log in, at the very top it says profile. If your profile doesn't say 100%, you have some work to do.
Yeah. Go in there and fix anything that you need to fix. People in our office are already closing 2 and 3 deals on Kelly. They're getting referrals. So if you're not on there, and they're doing blast referrals, like they're sending it out and whoever gets it first for some of them.
With the referral page, I've been getting tons of just random people.
Yeah.
So how do we just
connect with them?
Because it seems like I keep hearing about people connecting, but it just
Connect with them and send them back and say, thank you for adding me to your referral network. If you ever need anybody in Atlanta, and then why couldn't you do a whole campaign to other agents like you do your database? Right. Why couldn't you do a whole campaign to other agents like you do your database? But the more you can talk about yourself in your profile and say exactly what you do, what you specialize in, or if I were a teacher, I would probably put in there former educator, because to some parents that might be something they think is an added bonus, an added benefit. I would do, anything that I have done in my life, my former life, that might be an added value to someone. I specialize in, one of my specialties is new construction, work with several major builders. Have a secret buyers and sellers list. We work with houses that aren't even on the market. We specialize in hunting those down. Whatever you can say about yourself, so that when somebody, because here's what's going to happen, those Facebook groups that are based on popularity contests, they're going to go away. Because you can actually go and tell and look at somebody's profile, and coming soon, oh, by the way, like really soon, you're going to be able to see how many houses they sold in the area you're looking for.
Oh, do you want me to show them out?
Not right this minute, but yes, it's coming. All right, Erin, go.
Okay.
Yeah, if y'all don't, so they can see the screen. Thank you to our panel.
Anybody want my notes?
Yes.
Screen here.
While we're waiting on Erin, I will tell you some of the things about tech that aren't ready, that she's not going to show you, that will be ready very, very soon. How many are pulling up snaps? Okay, great.
She's going to show us how to send those to people?
Yes. Yeah, we
Because
can
it'll
show you.
create a link, right?
You can create a link. It's very easy.
She's also gonna show you landing pages. Command is going to be ready by the end of this month. And guess what they're teaching Kelly to do now? She's learning to read. You know, she was 2 years old about a month ago. Now she's learning to read. And you know what she's gonna read? She's gonna read your contracts. And she's gonna watch the timelines that are in there and put those dates on your calendar. Like inspection is up this day, due diligence is up that day. She's gonna put those on your calendar. Is that cool? Say that again. How do you leak your calendars? That's coming soon. It's not ready yet. She is also going to be able, since she's learning to read, she is also going to be able, if you have multiple offers, to read them and do you a spreadsheet that shows the difference in the offers. And I'm saying in the next probably 90 to 180 days, that'll be ready. And do you a spreadsheet so you can show the sellers this, and this. And then guess what she's learning to do? They got her a little backwards. She's learning to talk. She's learning to talk. And she will do script practice with you.
And then she'll walk in that door and introduce herself.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Kelly.
No, she's learning to talk and she's learning to read.
There she is.
All right. So how many people know how to do a snap first? Oh, that's a low number. Okay, so we're gonna do a snap together. So pull up.
Everybody get out your phone.
Get out your phone.
That's okay.
That's okay. So there's 2 ways to do this. One of the ways is to type it. So you can actually say snap and then give it a zip code that you want to use.
Don't give it give it a zip code. What do you want to use?
Snap 30360.
30360.
60. So it automatically pulls up the market snapshot for that zip code.
Tells how many active listings, how many are pending, average days on the market, average list price. It's got
So this is full of like the MLS and it's all incorporated.
How you like that?
Yeah, so you have the stats in your pocket.
So you're out with a client in an area you're not as familiar with. You can pull it right up.
Do it by school districts or?
Not yet.
Zip
Not yet,
codes
but-
right
Just
now.
zip codes. They're reducing it down to neighborhoods next.
Yeah, I tried neighborhoods or communities and it won't do it.
It's not
doing
there
it
yet.
Some
Not
are,
yet.
it did, some are, for me,
Okay, good.
That's good. It's
Keep
getting
trying.
smarter.
Keep trying. Okay. Now what? She's going to show you how to do
So
something.
the next step of all of this is why would you want to snap?
so you can share it.
So you can share it. Thank you. So there's a button right next to the zip code.
The little box with an arrow.
Yeah.
If you click that, you have the option of sharing the snap with whoever you would like.
I want you to share it with yourself right now.
Yeah.
Share it with yourself.
Right next to the zip code.
If it's
Email or
not-
text?
Either one.
Either one.
That you can get
So
quickly.
you can write a little message and you can say share, and then it's going to pull up all the different
all your
options.
choices.
So I'm going to message it to myself.
I don't have that box.
We don't have what you're talking
You need
about.
to update your Kelly.
Do my maps.
By the way, guys, she's being updated about every 2 or 3 days right now, so she's learning so much. Okay, so she's going to send it to herself and watch what it does.
So it says check out this market snapshot, and then it gives you the link. So right now, I'm going to copy. And I'm
Who
going to
got it? I heard oh, look how pretty. What did you get?
She got
It's branded to you as the agent.
It's branded to you as the agent, and it's a beautiful landing page that's got all of that information in it. Now get your pencils out real quick, because I'm gonna tell you how some ways to use it. You can post it on Facebook. You can you can post something that says, give me your zip code and I will send you information. And they comment with their zip code. You can do a screenshot, put it right on Facebook. Another lady, that I heard took, like, let's say she was in 30319, she got several zip codes right around there and put them on like an Animoto video that looped during her open house and had that sitting there running. And so people would say, quiz about that, and she would get their information to send it. So lots of ways to do that.
So this is saying that the neighborhood data powered by next door.
That's correct.
So they're getting this market statistic.
That's correct.
That's cool. Next door has been extremely accurate.
I think it's on this matches our last.
Because there's been listings showing up on next door might be sold that text. So it just keeps, I mean, it's very.
It's pretty good. It's more, let me say this, it's more right than wrong. And it will give you averages easily. It's not for looking for one, Matt, everybody hear me on this. It's not for looking for one particular house. Where do you look for that? On your KW app. Yeah, it's not for looking for, it's looking for averages and things like that. More big market data. Okay, that's a landing page. So snap and landing pages, the two things.
We're gonna talk about insights.
And then insights. This is what will set you apart.
Okay. So when you're in your Kelly app, you see at the top right hand corner there's an eye and a bell. If you click on the eye, it'll say, what can you ask Kelly? One of those categories is local insights. And by clicking on local insights, you can view the local insights or you can create one. So who knows what a local insight is?
Can you go back how you got it?
Sure. You're at the home page. You go to the eye.
Yeah, I don't think everyone has access to that one.
It says labs only.
Yeah, it's like in gray.
It's in gray.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the deal with that. No. Here's the deal. Those who go to make a camp got it.
Yeah, because they made it open in there.
Yeah. So if you didn't go to make a camp, it'll be right at the end of the month. For you.
It says you can click the access review, I clicked it, it says, okay, I've submitted your request for access for review.
There you go. But it'll be ready for everybody at the end of the month. And what you can do with Insight is
We'll go through it.
Okay, she's gonna go through it.
So local insights. So I'm gonna view all the local insights near us right now. So what it's doing is somebody has reviewed, Kelly Myers has reviewed Brookhaven Orthodontic in our area. She's added a couple pictures. And then let's see what's over here. Boogaloo. So what it's doing is wherever you are, you can create a description of that area. So if you have a favorite park, why is it your favorite park? Is it dog friendly? Is it great for children? If you have a favorite restaurant, tell us what's great about that restaurant. And then you now become the local expert in that area of knowing all of these great places to go in that area.
Where does this show up for somebody that doesn't, how do we
When you
use this?
send them a snap, you can put that in as an overlay. Like a filter, you can filter it out or put it in.
Right now they're trying to build the insights. So the more that you add, the bigger it'll get.
Will the person who put the insight in, will they be visible to anyone who's looking at it? Like if we send it to our clients, there's like 20 agents that build all the insights. Do they see all the other agents?
They will see yours.
They will just see ours.
Just see ours, that's what I'm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Great for an out-of-town client.
the reason is because we're going through it as if we were looking for a referral agent.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I'm saying the more you do this, the more validity you have.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, got it? Pretty cool things Kelly's gonna do, and even more to come. We have one last thing to talk about today that is pretty exciting. And I'm going to bring JD and Karen up, if she's still here, to talk about that. I'll get started if you want me to, or do you want me to be last?
Last.
Okay.
Well, you gotta do that.
No, whatever you want.
Vision board.
All right, guys. Somewhere you guys have seen some things along the walls, right? Some pictures and some banners, and it says like, no cap, free cap, 2019. Have you guys seen that?
Yes.
Do you understand what it's about?
Yes.
Okay.
It just got better. How about that?
We started a contest. We were way ahead of the game. We started that contest. We went to Mega Camp and found out there's another whole level to it. So we're gonna share that with you right now. But the Free Cap 2019 concept says that you have an opportunity to remove your entire cap for 2019. And you will do so by bringing in agents to Keller Williams that you believe are talented, that will have an interview with either Robin or James or Dory or Aaron or someone on staff will interview them. And if they join Keller Williams between the date that we released, it was a couple weeks ago, and the end of this year, December 31st, if they join Keller Williams Peachtree Road and put your name down, you're going to get your name in a drawing, right? And that drawing will be for one free cap for 2019. For every single person that signs up, you get yourself in a drawing. For every appointment you give, you get yourself into another drawing for a half cap. Are you guys interested in free money?
Yes.
There's a no cap 2019 cup coming around, courtesy of JD Kellen. Okay? So that you do not forget this.
I hope you'll leave that out where you see it constantly.
There are people out there that are y'all, there are amazing, talented people who are considering a career. There are amazing and talented people who are considering a career in real estate. Just as you were considering a career in real estate and someone talked to you, there are amazing, talented people waiting for you to talk to them and share the gift of Keller Williams. Not only will you bring them into your downline, but they will come to the best office in all of Atlanta. And by the way, we are number one in Atlanta again and again and again. But number two, you can go and talk to people that you're doing deals with that are amazing existing agents that are not in the right place, that do not have the right support or love, that do not have the culture that we have, that do not have the training that we have. So we're asking you, we're incenting you. Our goal is to bring in amazing people. It's the who that you spend time with that makes a difference.
All right, it just got better. Not only every interview that you set up here and that person names you as sponsor, you have a chance to lose your cap. Every new agent that comes on, you're going to get $1,500 off your cap.
What?
Yes. Every new agent that comes on just got licensed, and you bring them in here. Not only do you have a chance for your whole cap to go away, you just got a $1,500 credit. It gets better. You bring in somebody who's a capper, and we'll let you know. We're looking at the numbers right now as to what we determined somebody's last year production says that they will be a capper. You get $3,750 off your cap. How many 3750s does it take? What is your cap? Does everybody know? 15,000 and then 3,000 royalties. So we're talking about the 15,000 on this part. How many 3750s does it take? Four. You bring in 4 cappers, you've just done away with your entire cap. You bring in 10 new agents. Yeah, yes. 10 new agents had to think of mental math there for a minute.
What happens if you bring in that 11th agent?
Listen, we're going to find
it will go on to your next year's cap.
We're going to find a way to make you very happy. Don't worry.
Okay.
And don't forget, every agent that names you as sponsor, whether they're brand new or seasoned, you have a chance in the drawing to make your entire cap.
Does that make sense? Yeah. So your focus is to bring people to this building.
Now, let me fill in some detail.
I said let me keep it simple, Mama.
No. If you bring a capper, and we'll tell you the number, it's probably going to be $4 million that they've had to do in the last year, minimum $4 million. $3,750 will be deducted from your cap when you roll over on your next anniversary. Okay?
If you're a full capper. If you're a.
I did not just
yeah.
say that.
Yeah, so just make sure you're gonna use
Okay.
a different cap.
I'm not worried about that right now. That's not going there. Your cap is $1,500, $15,000. You'll get a fourth of it for each capper that you bring, and you'll get 10% for each new agent that you bring. The agent must name you as their sponsor. You cannot just throw me a name. I can do that all by myself. Thank you very much. I need you to talk with them, make sure they're ready to meet with me, and you set the appointment. Okay? They come on between now and the end of the year. In 2019, when your cap resets, you get it off your cap. So there's 5 ways to not pay your broker next year. Pay your broker 0. Number 1, bring in how many cappers? 4. How many new agents? 10. That's number 2. Number 3, a combination of either one of them. Number 4, profit share. And number 5, win the drawing.
2 drawings.
2 drawings. There's 5 ways to not pay your broker in 2019. You like that?
Yes.
And we want you to go after people that do at least $4 million in production. And let's go get them.
Woo!
If you think about it, a capper's worth $37,550, right? And then in this market center, it's worth about $2,000 in profit share. So total to you is yeah. And that's for 1 year. Now we're going to get a sheet. I know you've got lots of questions, and I probably don't have all the answers right now, but I've got a lot of them in my head. I'm not going to keep you right here right now. I'm going to put it all on paper, send it out to you, and you'll have it.
And Robin, as a result of this, there will be people in this market center who in 2019, Keller Williams pays them to work here. Did you sink that in just for a second? Because they profit shared, they brought in cappers, and they made more back than their cap. Made more back than their cap. So be one of the people that Keller Williams pays you to work here. And then go tell another agent that, hey, by the way, KW actually pays me to work there. Come have coffee and I'll show you how.
Do you know where this came from, by the way? This is money that could have been spent for marketing, that the market center could have spent on ads and things like that, but that's not our culture. We don't do that. We want to have people come in.
Very rewarded the people who help us grow the company, always has. And this is just next level at that. So you have a wonderful opportunity to make a lot of money. And I hope you'll take great advantage of it. Okay? Thank you all for coming. Are you fired up? You have more here. And everybody get a cup? I guess she's
You want? I gotta get one. You find it red shoes,
I feel like salute. I'm so patriotic.
Yeah.